Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, Gabriel Murillo here, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about target statement and defining a criteria for a business acquisition. So, if you guys know of Buy Then Build Walker Deibel, I'm a huge fan. He has been an instrumental person in my own journey. And if you haven't checked out yet, the book Buy Then Build, 1000% recommended. So go ahead and check it out. It's a really good book. I read it at least 6 times in just a couple months, literally went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it was tremendous value out of it. So I followed step by step what he has laid out in there. One of the main things that really defined the success of an acquisition entrepreneur is being specific about the target. And in the book, there's an exercise for defining a target statement. And it's almost like if you're looking for just a job and you could say, hey, I'm looking for a job. That is a very broad and just general statement versus say, hey, I'm looking for an opportunity that looks like this in this field, in this location, and I have experience in XYZ. So now, yes, you're going to limit yourself, but then you're going to increase your match rate or your compatibility between the opportunity and your profile. So the same happens with a business acquisition. So in this statement, I'm going to go through it and then I'm going to share the criteria that I have even before I read the book and how I think you can take these principles. Again, go ahead and check out the book, but I'll walk through the target statement, then the personal criteria, and then the deal scorecard evaluation. Let's start with the target statement. In here, we see that the target statement looks like I am looking for um, service, for example, a marketing agency, and that's what I acquire, a marketing agency company with um, this type of characteristics. In there, it says the type of growth opportunity generating X amount of SDE, seller discretionary earnings, with this limiter. So here are a few examples. I'm looking for a commercial IT service business with solid operations but lacking a strong B2B sales effort, generating between 750,000 to a million in SDE in regional Southwest. This is very specific, and I get that at the beginning it's pretty difficult to define that. In fact, in my own case, I did get a chance to go through at least 6 months where I didn't have this target statement and I was just more broad, just looking at deals. That helped me really define my limiters. Once I had my limiters, I knew I didn't want to buy a liquor store, I didn't want to buy a laundromat, I didn't want to buy a lot of these very local businesses. And then I went to size. All right, what is a good size for me based on my ability to pursue this deal, right? Then I went into more like, what can I bring onto this deal? What is the expertise? What is the abilities and capabilities that I can bring onto this company? And ultimately, what do I have experience on? For example, I wanted to buy an e-commerce company, and I was one of my really good friends from college that said, Gabriel, um, you being in the marketing industry for years, in the marketing agency industry for years, stick to what you know. But as you probably know, once you're in a field for a while, you always are looking for something new. You're chasing kind of the excitement. I'm glad I did stay on my field, and that was the best decision I could ever make. But it's always tempted to go look, all right, I can go do this other thing and learn this other thing. And I think his statement was like, you don't learn how to run an e-commerce company by buying a multi-million dollar company. That's not the way it works. And he was absolutely right. Now with the marketing agency that I bought, I get to see that, and we have hundreds of clients in the e-commerce space, and we have been exposed to a lot of the good, the bad, and the ugly of running e-commerce businesses. And it's a huge, huge endeavor. So know yourself, know your industry, and again, go check out the book. I'm going to be promoting that book a lot. I'm very engaged in the community with Walker and Chelsea Wood. They have a mastermind for business acquisition, which I'll be talking about in this channel a lot. So that's the target statement. Now, the personal criteria, this is more specific, and I love this because I will never forget when I found the deal, the company I bought, it checked all the boxes. And I was just so excited because that was the first time that I knew that I had the deal. Like before, I would get, 8 out of 12 or 10 out of 12. But this time it was just everything check, and that just made it really simple to make a decision, right? So in here, you'll see there's some obvious things. I'll start with subscription-based revenue. That's a preference. An alternative is recurring revenue, where it may not be an auto subscription. Maybe it's not a monthly or yearly subscription, but it's revenue that comes in every quarter and is predictable because there's um, historicals that prove that that business has been a client of that company for years. And then you can start building some predictions on that. But subscription is pretty simple. In our case, we got a marketing agency. We have subscriptions every month. We got retainers that come in every month, and there's stability there. There's predictability because we can also track churn rates, which is one of the other criteria I have down there. So next is proven record profitability. That means like there's some stability, and that is again obvious. If you go through the book as well, you'll see how it is critical to have like a stable company, not something that was like a huge jump and then it went down and up and down. It's just more stability and consistent, specifically also on the tax returns, not too much on just purely just saying, hey, we are making these sales, but you're seeing on the tax returns when you get into due diligence to look at, all right, this matches, this tracks, and this is a profitable company. Sale operational, basically just saying, am I able to keep this business long term? If I wanted to hold forever, or is this even a good fit for selling it a few years after paying off the loan, for example? So that is a great fit to understand like any of those situations in the future versus like trying to buy a turnaround company and then I don't think we can sell this in the future, or this will be really hard to keep it long term. Scalability is pretty simplistic, meaning again, a local business may not be scalable because there's a facility and there's only a handful amount of people. If I buy a hair salon, there's only a handful of things that could be done for really scaling that business. There's always going to be a ceiling versus like a business like the one that we bought. It is an online business and we can get more clients in the United States. We can get clients. In fact, we had clients in Australia, in Canada, in other places. It's remote. So scalability, it is way more open. Location independent, that was a really important thing to me since me and my wife, we love traveling and we wanted to have a presence, have a team somewhere, but we also wanted to have the ability to be remote. And 100% of our team right now is remote and has been a phenomenal thing. So again, up to you what you want to define. Maybe this is something that you get rid of because you don't care. You want to stay and you want to buy a business in your hometown or in your area. And that will again limit your options, but it's a possibility there. Customer base is tied to customer concentration and risk. In our case, again, we given the fact that we have a productized agency that we bought, we got spread over 100 clients, so no client was more than 10% of their revenue, and that gave us a lot of confidence that we could continue to add new clients with a proven system that was already in place. And the clients that were there, they're clients that been around for 6-8 years, some of them been around for 2 years, but we got really good a strong base of customers. So keep in mind that if you see, for example, I saw a company a few days ago, they had less than 20 clients and it was a multi-millionaire company. That is pretty scary. There was another deal that somebody shared with me that they have corporate clients, but 3 clients make up 60% of their revenue. So that's a huge, huge risk. And there's really no way around it. There's not any deal structure that could mitigate that risk. Again, different risk levels, different tolerance levels, but ultimately it's a huge point to consider there. Then low churn rate, that means, how much are they staying on when they subscribe? There's some average, there's a formula for calculating that churn rate, the cancellation rate of clients. And these other ones, I'll just fly through them, but basically being able to predict, all right, based on the customer acquisition channel, most marketing agencies, they don't have a funnel to generate new clients. But in our case, we had a Facebook ads engine that we know exactly how much it costs to generate a lead, to generate a new appointment with a potential client, to generate a new client. So we understand the metrics and we can determine how much are we willing to invest to acquiring a customer. Some small businesses, they don't have that, so you don't have to have it, but you should be able to calculate it and quickly determine based on the amount of money that they're spending in advertisement. If they're not spending in advertisement, then you will want to know how are they getting new clients. Is it through a sales force, and they have a cost to that? So there's always going to be a way to calculate how much does it cost to generate a new client, and if it's not, then it's going to be pretty difficult to know how you can get more customers on demand. And simplified knowledge transfer, that means documentation, SOPs, that there are systems in place. And in the Gates company that we bought, there was like 140 pages before AI. So the previous owners did take the time to document every single thing in the business, how everything is done, how team members should be following steps for every area of the company. Online presence, that means there are reviews, there is a website, there's some sort of organic traffic, some testimonials, some proof that there's people coming to that business and new opportunities can come. And even if there's not paid traffic or advertisement, at least there's a vehicle, there's some knowledge of the business in the market that will allow us to scale and expand that established brand. Lastly, customer acquisition strategies. Again, is this a business that we can scale with paid advertisement, or we can scale with funnels? Okay, so that was a lot, but in summary, these are the 2 steps before you go define your scorecard evaluation. So what we did, we have another video that I'm linking in the description here, where once you have this for your own, then you get to your scorecard evaluation, and trust me, this will save you a ton of time looking at deals and not spending time on deals that are just not worth your time, that are just a distraction. So you stay true to your criteria, and that'll make your life a whole lot easier. If you have any other ideas on criteria, just drop it in the comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.